My name is Sarah Holmes, a full-time homemaker. My husband thinks that if he mentions divorce, I'll just shut up. It's infuriating. I'm so fed up I've thought about actually going through with a divorce. He's that terrible. If I were to agree to a divorce easily, he'd probably be surprised, but I think it might actually go smoothly. We've been married for 15 years, but we don't have any children, just the two of us. I wanted kids, but my husband dislikes children, so we never had any. I thought as long as we could enjoy our lives together, that would be enough. But who would have thought it would come to this? My husband has always been arrogant and selfish. When I was still in love with him, I tolerated his selfishness, and I was the one making all the sacrifices. But that kind of stress builds up, and one day it just exploded. After that, I couldn't feel the same about him anymore. He seemed irritated when I started expressing my opinions. He started saying things like,
"All you need to do is listen to me instead of giving your opinion like you're somebody. A woman who's all talk and no charm is not cute. I wonder why I even married you."
Such verbal abuse became common. I was at my limit of tolerance, so I fought back. He's always thought that women should walk a step behind men. I'm not the submissive type. I was just enduring it, so clashes were inevitable. Still, there was no particular reason why I didn't divorce. Just because we fought or hated each other didn't mean it was easy to get divorced, and I'd never even considered divorce in the first place. I thought that's how marriage was supposed to work, getting through even with fights. Then one day, he said,
"You talk back too much. I'm sick of it. I don't want to waste my life anymore. Let's get a divorce. There's nothing good about being with you. It's just tiring. Though I doubt you can make it on your own after we're divorced."
That's when I first considered divorce, but I didn't think it was realistic. When he said that, as a stay-at-home wife, I thought I couldn't make it if I was kicked out. No qualifications, no income. I couldn't stand up to my husband, thinking if I was divorced, I'd be done for. Eventually, the divorce arc fizzled out because I became submissive, so I don't know how serious he was. But since then, every time we fought, he threatened divorce.
"If I divorce you, you'll have a hard time. You might even end up homeless, and I won't help you at all. It's your fault for being dumped by me. If you don't want that, then just keep quiet and do as I say from now on."
Every time he said that, I bit my lip. I was so frustrated. So I started looking for a job, thinking about what to do in case it happens. He thought I was just looking for a part-time job to kill time.
"You who can barely manage housework, better earn something. It's better for me if you work rather than laze around at home."
He said something like that. By the way, since I started working part-time, I've been contributing to our finances, but I saved the extra money for emergencies. I've saved a decent amount now, so if divorce came up again, I thought I'd agree to it. I was fed up with being talked down to, and I couldn't stand being looked down upon like this. He seemed to think I have some savings, but he didn't know the details, and I didn't know about his savings either. We were both silent about it. That made it easier to save. But the fact that I was considering divorce might be unexpected for him. I've always done as told. He probably thought I couldn't do anything on my own and acted all high and mighty. From the moment I started my part-time job, divorcing him was my goal. So I had no more hesitation. On the contrary, I'm filled with the feeling that I've finally reached the point where I could divorce. Well, I was not planning to bring it up myself. I wanted to let him start the conversation and move things along smoothly. I didn't think it would take long, but the fact that it eventually happened quickly was unexpected for me too. Just recently, we had a huge fight again. The reason for the fight was that I had become indifferent towards my husband after deciding on divorce.
"You've been a bit too bold lately. It seems like you're not showing enough gratitude towards me."
I'm not grateful at all, and I'm fed up with you acting all high and mighty.
"What? I'm not acting superior. I am superior. I'm the breadwinner of this family."
What about me? I work and contribute financially to this household too.
"The money you bring in is peanuts compared to mine. It's delusional to think you're on the same level as me. Apologize to me right now, or let's get a divorce.
As usual, he threatened me with those words. But what was different this time was that I had been waiting for these words. Fine, let's get a divorce.
Huh?
You heard me. Let's do it.
Are you joking? I'm not just threatening you.
I'm not joking either. I'm serious about wanting a divorce.
Every time I mentioned divorce before, you immediately backed down. What's changed?
It was obvious he was taken aback. I had to stop myself from laughing. Seeing him flustered made me so happy. I thought, finally, this moment has come, and felt excited, contrary to his panic. It seems you haven't noticed, but I've wanted a divorce for a long time. I was saving money from my part-time job because I'd be in trouble if you kicked me out without notice. Well, my savings alone aren't enough, so it's good timing for a divorce settlement. I don't know how much you've saved, though.
Are you serious? You really intend to divorce me?
Well, you're the one who said it, right? And it's not the first time. You didn't say it without being prepared to follow through, did you? That would be fine, right? Actually, I already got the divorce papers. Could you sign them now? And let's discuss the divorce settlement while we're at it. Now I can finally be free from the stress of being with you. When I said all that, my husband unusually fell silent. He was clearly shaken, but his pride seemed to get in the way until the end. He never came around to apologizing, and he silently signed the divorce papers. I knew he would act this way, and everything going according to plan felt great. If you're serious about getting a divorce, you have to anticipate every possible reaction from your husband. If I had been the one to suggest divorce, he would have staunchly refused. But since he brought it up, he couldn't back down. Apologizing was the only way he could have kept me from leaving. But knowing he would never apologize meant that divorce was almost certain. I received the signed divorce papers with a smile. I had already packed some of my things in advance, so after getting the papers and finishing the settlement talk, I went straight back to my parents' house. He seemed like he wanted to say something until the end, but never tried to stop me. Even if he had apologized unexpectedly, I would have rejected it. Then, I simply relaxed at my parents' house after unpacking. By the way, I have already filed for divorce. I never expected the divorce to proceed so smoothly. I was finally free. I've been living each day with a refreshing sense of liberation. But then, something unbelievable happened with my ex-husband. Actually, just 3 days after the divorce, I got this message from him.
I got remarried. Just thought I'd let you know.
Remarried? What? It's only been 3 days since we split.
Apparently, she's been interested in me for a while. She contacted me as soon as she found out we broke up.
What do you mean? Do I know her?
You have a friend named Olivia, right? It's her.
What? Olivia, you're joking, right?
No, it's true.
Then show me proof.
Here, I'll send you a 2-shot of us.
He said that and actually sent me a photo of him with my friend, Olivia. I burst out laughing when I saw it. This Olivia was quite the character. My ex-husband seemed unaware of Olivia's true nature and seemed proud to have remarried so quickly.
I managed to find someone right after our divorce. Unlike you, I won't be alone.
He said it in a way that made me laugh. So I laughed back at him. I don't know how much you know about Olivia, but you're out of your mind to marry her.
What do you mean?
Don't you realize why she approached you in the first place?
The real reason. She said she's always liked me. She wanted to date with marriage in mind, so I decided to get married right away. There's nothing wrong with her.
You made such a quick decision without knowing the full story. She just got divorced recently, you know.
I know that from her, but that's the same for me. We both ended up single and hit it off right away.
Did you ever ask her why she got divorced?
The usual differences in values, right? That was the case for us, too.
Differences in values, huh? Well, her last husband couldn't stand her gambling habit.
What? Gambling? I haven't heard anything about that.
Is Olivia not there with you now? Why don't you ask her directly?
Olivia's out at the moment. But if what you're saying is true,
It is? What will you do? My ex-husband was utterly shaken by my words. There's a limit to making hasty decisions in marriage. Olivia and I weren't particularly close, just high school classmates. We had reconnected at a reunion a few months back. When I mentioned my ex-husband, her eyes lit up. My ex-husband was a so-called successful elite, meaning he wasn't short on money. That's when I learned about Olivia's gambling habit. But I never imagined she would go after someone else's husband. How they met, I'm not exactly sure, but with today's technology, there are plenty of ways. They probably connected through social media, I guess. But to be tricked so easily, haha. Later, my ex said he would
check with Olivia as soon as she gets back,
and hung up. That night, he contacted me again.
Everything you said was true. She casually mentioned liking gambling. And now that we're married, she even said I should let her use my money freely. That woman is unbelievable. She must have been planning to hide her true self until after the marriage.
Well, you should be glad you found out early. You should thank me for telling you.
That's not good at all. It's no joke. I brought up divorce, but now I'm being told that divorce is absolutely off the table. At this rate, I'm just going to be exploited.
Well, it's not every day you get to keep such an easy mark, is it?
Hey, can you talk to her too? Your friend's right.
Friend is a bit of a stretch. We're just former classmates. Besides, you and I are strangers now. Why should I help you just because you're in trouble?
What? So, you're okay with me being exploited?
I mean, it's fine by me. It doesn't involve me at all.
Such is life.
Despite expecting it, it seemed Olivia was indeed gleeful about landing my ex-husband. My ex-husband, realizing he had been duped, came to me for help, which is quite the turn of events. He was too hasty, bragging to me having remarried within 3 days of our divorce. And now, when in trouble, he expects my help. Talk about having his cake and eating it too. Seeing my ex-husband in such a frenzy was truly amusing. Honestly, I thought it served him right. He must have been really desperate, dropping his usual pride and earnestly seeking my help, saying,
I can't let Olivia ruin my life like this. Can you help me?
So I told him straight, this is all the result of your own actions. You always look down on others, convinced you're right. Don't expect me to help you.
All right, my bad. I won't assume I'm always right anymore. I'm sorry for everything up to now, and I acknowledge that I looked down on you. I'm reflecting on my actions, so could you talk to Olivia about divorcing?
That was the first time my ex-husband ever apologized to me. It was satisfying, to say the least. But making him apologize wasn't my goal, and I still didn't want to help him to the end. I wished he would reflect more on his arrogant behavior and suffer the consequences for messing up my life. So I rebuffed my ex-husband's plea for help. I won't lift a finger to help you. Whatever happens to you from now on is none of my concern.
But I'm really sorry, I'm apologizing for the first time, aren't I?
Don't think an apology means you're forgiven. This will be the last time we communicate. Since you've remarried, I hope you and Olivia have a long and happy life together. With that, I hung up on him. He tried to call several times after that, but I never answered. I thought there was nothing more to talk about, and frankly, discarding my pompous ex-husband felt fantastic. Their relationship likely won't last, and they might end up divorcing in the future. Someday, I hope to find someone wonderful and enjoy a new life. Well, I'm pretty happy just having divorced him. This unexpected form of revenge has left me with no regrets regarding my ex-husband. Perhaps I should even thank Olivia. Though I doubt we'll be in touch again. Olivia must be thrilled with her quick marriage, even if the divorce will be a hassle. I'll leave those two to their own devices and focus on finding my own happiness.